In the vibrant and bustling city of Oregun, there was a woman whose beauty was the talk of the town. Her name was Nia, and she was the epitome of grace and charm. With a radiant smile, sparkling eyes, and an enchanting presence, she captured the hearts of everyone who saw her. As Nia walked through the lively streets of Oregun, people would stop and stare, mesmerized by her striking appearance. Men couldn't help but be drawn to her, while women often looked on with a mixture of admiration and envy. Nia's beauty was not just deep skin, it was complemented by her confident demeanor and the effortless way she carried herself. Her every move seemed to be choreographed to perfection, making hearts stone and hearts flutter. Vendors in the market would pause their sales to catch a glimpse of her, and even the usual static drivers would honk their honks in appreciation as she passed by. But Nia's beauty extended beyond her physical appearance. She had a captivating charm that made people want to be around her. Her laughter was like music, and her smile could light up even the darkest corners of the city. It was no surprise that she had a string of admirers, each vying for her attention and hoping to win her favor. However, Nia was not just known for her beauty. She had a reputation that was equally as legendary. Despite the admiration she received, there was a darker side to her charm. Nia had a troubling hobby. She enjoyed the attention of married men, particularly those who were wealthy and influential. Her actions had left a trail of broken homes and shattered hearts, but she wore her reputation like a badge of honor. The whispers grew louder with each new affair. Families in Oregun knew to be wary of Nia. Wives feared her, seeing her as a threat to their marriages. Husbands, on the other hand, couldn't help but be intrigued by her. Her reputation of alluring and dangerous only made her more fascinating. Despite the disapprovals she faced, Nia remained unapologetic. She saw herself as a woman who knew what she wanted and was unafraid to take it. Her conquest was a testament of her irresistible charm and the weakness of men. She often thought,
why should I be guilty of their lack of control?
One day, as she walked through the bustling marketplace, the whispers grew louder. People spoke of her latest conquests, a successful merchant named Kofu. Nia enjoyed the thrill of the chase, the excitement of seducing men who were out of her reach. And with Kofu, it was no different. She saw him as a challenge, a prize to be won, and as she set her sights on him, she knew that her life was about to get even more interesting. Kofu was a well-respected merchant in Oregun, known for his astute business acumen and integrity. His shop, a bustling hub of activity, sold everything from fine fabrics to exotic spices. He had built his business from the ground up, and his success was a point of pride not just for him, but for his entire family. Kofu's wife, Ama, was the cornerstone of his life. Her unwavering support and love had been crucial in his journey of success. Together, they had created a warm and loving home for their 3 children. Ama managed the household with grace, ensuring that their children were well cared for and that their home was always welcoming. The couple was often seen together at community events, embodying a perfect partnership. Their love was evident to all who knew them, and their family life was considered exemplary. But beneath the surface, cracks began to form the day Kofu met Nia. It happened by chance. Kofu was on his way to a business meeting when he saw Nia walking through the markets. Her beauty struck him like a bolt of lightning. He found himself unable to look away, captivated by her radiant smile and the confident way she carried herself. At that moment, Kofu was lost. He found excuses to pass by the markets more frequently, hoping to catch another glimpse of her. Eventually, their paths crossed, and Kofu seized the opportunity to introduce himself. Nia's charm was intoxicating, and Kofu, a man who had always prided himself on his self-control, found himself enthralled. Their conversations were light at first, but soon they grew deeper. Kofo began to confide in Nia, sharing details about his business and his life. Nia listened with a captivating interest that made Kofo feel important and valued. He started to visit her regularly, bringing her gifts as token of his appreciation. At first, these visits were innocent, but as Kofo's attachment to Nia grew, so did the extravagancy of his gifts. He bought her expensive jewelry, designer clothes, and luxurious perfumes. Each gift was a step further away from his family and a step deeper into Nia's world. Ama noticed the changes in Kofo almost immediately. He became distant, spending less time at home and more time at his shop, or, as Ama suspected, elsewhere. The gifts and attention he once lavished on his family were now missing. Ama's heart ached as she watched her husband drift away from her and their children. She tried to reach out to him, asking about the changes and expressing her concerns. But Kofo was evasive, making excuses and avoiding the topic. Ama's suspicions grew, and she began to feel a deep sense of unease. She knew something was terribly wrong, but couldn't put a finger on it. Her worst fears were confirmed one day when she followed Kofo to a part of town she rarely visited. There, she saw him entering an upscale apartment building. Ama waited, her heart pounding, and after what felt like an eternity, she saw him emerge with Nia. The sight of them together shattered her world. Ama confronted Kofo that evening, demanding an explanation. Kofo, who was caught off guard, tried to downplay his relationship with Nia, but the evidence was undeniable. Ama's heart broke as she realized the depth of Kofo's betrayal. She confronted Nia the next day, hoping to appeal to a sense of decency. But Nia was unmoved.
It is not my fault your husband prefers me,
she said with a cold smile.
Maybe you should ask him why.
The confrontation left Ama devastated and Nia feeling victorious. She had won Kofo's affection, and in her mind, this was all that mattered. As Kofo's visits to Nia grew more frequently, Ama's hopes for reconciliation dwindled. She watched helplessly as her family life crumbled, her children's innocent questions about their father tearing her apart. The once happy home was now a place of sorrow and uncertainty. Kofo, lost in his infatuation with Nia, failed to see the destruction he was causing. He was blinded by the beauty and charm, unable to resist the life she offered. As the days turned into weeks, Kofo's absence at home became more pronounced. Ama, silently and determined, continued to hold the family together. But the strain was evident. The whispers in Oregun grew louder, and the once admired merchant became a subject of pity and scandal. Nia, on the other hand, continued to enjoy the luxuries Kofo provided. She wore her new jewelry with pride, flaunting her designer clothes and basking in the admiration of those around her. Nia enjoyed the power she held over Kofo. She knew that he was torn between his family and his desires for her, and she used that to her advantage. Nia was a master manipulator, skilled at playing on Kofo's emotions and keeping him entangled in her web. She knew exactly how to make Kofo feel special and needed. When they were together, she showered him with attention, making him feel like the most important man in the world. She listened to his worries and fears, offering him comfort and reassurance. And Kofo found himself falling deeper under a spell. She used subtle tactics to keep Kofo hooked. When he spoke about his family, she listened with keen attention, but also planted seeds of doubt.
Do you really think Ama understands you the way I do?
She would ask, her voice filled with concern.
You deserve to be with someone who truly appreciates you.
Kofo, already feeling guilty about his affair, found solace in Nia's words. She seemed to understand him in a way that Ama no longer did, and he clung to that feeling. Nia's manipulation extended beyond her interactions with Kofo. She made sure to be seen around Oregun with him, subtly flaunting their relationship. She knew that the more public their affair became, the harder it would be for Kofo to extricate himself. The whispers and gossip about them only added to the pressure Kofo felt, making him more dependent on Nia's support. As the weeks turned into months, Kofo's double life took its toll. His business suffered and his relationship with Ama became increasingly strained. The children, sensing the tension, grew more withdrawn and confused. The happy family that Kofo and Ama had once built was falling apart, and there seemed to be no way to stop it. Ama had reached her breaking point. The constant tension and betrayal had eroded her spirits, and she knew she couldn't continue living in this limbo. She had to make a decision not just for her own sake, but for her children's well-being. The time had come to confront Kofo once and for all and demand clarity about their future. One evening, after putting their children to bed, Ama sat Kofo down in the living room. Her eyes were steely with resolve.
Kofo, this cannot go on any longer. You need to decide. Are you going to be with your family or with Nia?
Kofo sighed. His shoulders slumped under the weight of his guilt and indecision.
Ama, I love you and the children, but my feelings for Nia are real too. I don't know what to do.
Ama's heart ached with his words, but she stood firm.
You cannot have both, Kofo. I won't allow it. If you want to be with her, then go. But know that if you choose her, you are leaving us behind for good.
Kofo looked at her, tears in his eyes.
Ama, please understand. I am so confused. I never wanted to hurt you.
Ama's resolve wavered for a moment, but she quickly regained her composure.
It is not about what you wanted, Kofo. It is about what you are doing. You need to make a choice, and you need to make it now.
Kofo's eyes contoured with anguish as he realized the gravity of the situation. He knew that his action had led him to this point, and there was no easy way out. After a long silence, he finally spoke.
Ama, I need some time to think. Can you give me that?
Ama shook her head. No more time, Kofo. You have had plenty of that. It is now or never.
Kofo stood up, pacing the room as he wrestled with his emotions. Finally, he turned to Ama, his decision clear in his eyes.
I am sorry, Ama. I think I need to be with Nia. I know this is painful, but I cannot keep living this lie.
Ama felt a wave of sorrow washed over her, but she also felt a strong sense of relief. At least now, the uncertainty was over.
Then go, Kofo. Leave now. Don't come back.
Kofo looked at her one last time, his eyes filled with regrets.
I am sorry, Ama.
He whispered before turning and walking out of the door. As the door closed behind him, Ama felt a mix of pain and liberation. The man she had once loved and trusted had chosen another, but she knew that this was the beginning of a new chapter for her and her children. She vowed to rebuild their lives free from the shadows of betrayal. Thank you for watching another of our video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Also subscribe and turn on your notification bell to get notified when we drop the part 2 of this story. See you on the next one.